It's a great opportunity. Let me give credit back to U.S. Wushu Federation first, because really I kind of look around. There's no other federation is doing this. So this is a great opportunity to really promote Wushu and Kung Fu to all the students, and then have interaction with different sifu with different talents. So very good. So Wing Chun, okay, is my specialties, okay? So a little bit of background on Wing Chun. Wing Chun is a Southern Shaolin Kung Fu that is originated from the Southern Shaolin Temple, okay? Later, when we have question and answers, maybe I can go a little bit deeper with history and philosophy. Speaking about history, right now this building is where we train the Wing Chun classes, but it's also the home to the first Wing Chun museum. So in the future courses, we're going to showcase you inside the museum and give you some introduction and a guided tour on that. Okay. Also today, I want to quickly introduce my assistants. Okay, he's my older son, Sifu Vincent Meng. Okay, himself been training since his little baby. Okay, so since this is Wing Chun course, he's going to be assisting me. He is actually the seventh. But in the future, when we start getting into the sporting or competition side of the Wing Chun, so he will be presenting some of the materials as well. Okay. Now, with that said, okay, if you study martial art, you can benefit from learning Wing Chun. Okay, because it's not because Wing Chun is not a separate style. Okay, let's say you do a style, and then people normally don't like to mix it with different styles, or some they do. Okay, Wing Chun, number one, is the concept-based art. Okay, so concept means for efficiency. So efficiency is a concept. Wing Chun, we don't really specialize in any particular techniques or skill sets. Okay? When I talk about skill set, we talk about, okay, for example, hand-to-hand combat, right? You have Ti, Da, Swai, Na. So obviously, if you talk about Ti, Northern system or Taekwondo, okay, you talk about Swai Na, okay, Swai Jiao, Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and all that. So they specialize in certain techniques. Wing Chun, we have Ti, Da, Swai, Na. Okay? So we don't specialize in any particular technique, but we do focus on efficiency. So therefore, if you are coming from different background, different system, you can learn Wing Chun as a way to supplement your art. Okay? And also, since I'm talking about Ti, Da, Swai, Na, I'm sure most of you guys have seen the Yip Man movies. Okay, there's about 10 of them out there. Okay, 4 of them by Donnie Yun and so forth. In the movie or in classical Wing Chun, what you see is the Wing Chun pose. It's a very short distance. Okay, so I'm going to explain that a little bit. Wing Chun, number one, okay, is a concept-based art. Number two, it is a complete system. Complete meaning that it is a long-range art. Okay, one of the weapons we use is called Luk Din Bun Guan. Okay, you can see this is a very long weapon. Concept-based art, that means when I'm teaching this weapon, you are not just learning this one particular set of tools. You're learning a 6-foot pole, a 9-foot pole, as well as a single spear, as well as double-headed staff. So we put all the long weapon knowledge into one weapon. That's concept-based system. Okay. So don't think Wing Chun is a short winch. You can see we have long winch. Okay. So in the old days, cold weapons. Okay, short nothing with gunpowders. Okay, we call those cold weapons. Long spear is considered long weapons. And then you have a big sword like this, samurai sword, straight sword, broadsword. In battlefield, those are short weapons, okay? So from long weapons, The next weapon we go to is what we call Wing Chun Bat Zam Do. Right? They're not long. They're not even considered short weapon in the battlefields. Okay, so short weapon would be like a straight sword. This is classified as a personal weapon. Okay, they're short, like the length of my forearm. Normally, I can hide them. Okay, so they're personal weapons. Same thing, right? This in the Southern Shaolin, they call this Wu Dip Song Do, butterfly knife. But Wing Chun have a particular design, so therefore the name for the Wing Chun knife is Bat Zam Do. Maybe in a future series, I can explain a little bit about that. So when you're dealing with a weapon like this, you actually extend it out further than hand-to-hand combat, okay? So once you're done with the weapon, for long range, close range, then you do hand-to-hand, right? So a lot of time you see Wing Chun is short distance, but fighting is fighting. You gotta deal with long range, right? One of our basic forms called sitting top. This is not chopping two people, right? This tells you Wing Chun, we do go out to the side. When we extend out to the side, what it gives you is distance. In Wing Chun, we call this the three gates, okay? So basically, this is the first concept of Wing Chun. We have center, heaven, human, earth, okay? So high, middle, low. And then you have right side, left side. So you have 9 gates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 3 lower ones. Okay? So those 9 gates mean that mechanically you are fighting in close range. You need to square up. Okay? Now, if Mr. Vincent were to come in, this is called personal space. I can touch him with both hands. This is 9 gates, okay? Now, if I go further out, I can't touch him. I have to turn my body. So now I'm 3 gates, 6 gates, 9 gates. So this is Wing Chun gates, right? GATE theories. It teaches you about mechanics of fighting. So we do have long techniques, right? But suddenly he comes closer, I need to change my 3 gate into 9 gate. Now I'm facing him with the 3 gates. So now that means I have 2 hands, 2 feet, where I'm only dealing with half of his body. So this is part of Wing Chun combat efficiency. So you want to always take the advantage or present your strong side when you're dealing with fighting or self-defense, okay? So this is one of the Wing Chun concepts. So a lot of misconception thinking Wing Chun only have to do with close range. We have long range all the way to close quarter fight, okay? And also the technique, we have kicking, striking, takedown, and submission as well, okay? So with that said, the introduction of Wing Chun, let me begin today with some kicking and striking, okay? Now, if you are learning martial art for self-defense or for fitness, for self-improvement, for competitions, for fun, okay? Every one of them is good, but because you are looking for different outcomes, so therefore the training methods, the training system, how you go about it will be different, okay? It's the same art, but different training. If I'm training a lady for self-defense, it's not the same if I'm training her to do a full contact fighting, okay? So understand those different activities. Is very important, okay? So this particular series of Wing Chun I'm going to be doing will be focused more on application. So therefore, you're probably going to be able to use this technique for self-defense or enhance your sparring skill or even full contacts, okay? So Wing Chun, we have actually 7 skill sets. Today, we want to just express a striking skill, okay? A kick and a strike, those are what we call striking skills, okay? Next week or the next class, we're going to express bridging skill. Okay, this is one of the key concepts of Southern Shaolin Kung Fu. Okay, so Nanquan, Qiu Sao, or bridge hand. So that's going to be the next lessons. Okay, so now going back to the famous movie, right? You see Donnie Yun's express this technique here. You see a lot of Wing Chun, almost every Wing Chun does that, okay? That's called Yakji Chong Cui. It's called sun fist, or sometimes called a vertical punch, okay? So we're gonna teach you this particular technique as the focus for our hands-on practice, okay? Like I said, okay, every fighting, you gotta know the lead hand punch, your backhand punch, you got your curve punch, okay? Punching is punching, right? So this particular technique is short range. Because it's short range, you gotta change the structure to give you the same power, because now you don't have the distance to build up your speed and so forth, okay? So this is a very fast punch, very strong punch. Okay, so, but unfortunately, a lot of people learning Wing Chun make a mistake that they're throwing this punch too far out. Okay, so this is not meant for long distance. Let me show you the wrong way first. Okay, why don't we move the cameras back a little bit? Okay, good. So here we are facing off, right? Let's say we're about to engage in a sparring match or self-defense, okay? Here I am as a Wing Chun guys, okay? He's out of my 9-gate distance, right? He's out of my short range. So for me to fire this punch, I'm gonna have to walk into his space. So if I fire a short punch like this, I'm walking into his long shots. It's kind of like I have a handgun, he has a rifle. So this is the wrong way, okay? So you make sure you understand the context of this technique today is for, we sometimes call this the trapping range, okay? So trapping range is when two hands can touch your opponents. Now it's too far. But if I turn, I can touch him. That is already going into the 6 or 3 gates turning postures, okay? So those are mechanics, all right? So Wing Chun is about efficient. So why do we always see Wing Chun guys square up? For practice, we square up. For application, we don't square up. Okay, only we possess the 9-gate facing to their 3 gates or 6 gates. Okay, so the wrong punch is not the punch is wrong; it is the person. If they throw a short punch in a long distance, you're going to get hit. Okay. So, for example, if I jab him and he engaged me, but then I move in. Now I breached. Only then this punch comes out. Okay? So this is the context of a vertical punch. So with that said, I want to go ahead now go over the mechanics of this punch. Okay? In Wing Chun, we have what we call yang punch. Primarily, you use the first 2 knuckles. Okay, this one is, you can extend like a jab, okay? It gives you distance. The sun fist, or the vertical punch, is actually the bottom 3 knuckles, okay? So you are hitting with the 1, 2, 3. So it's tilted, almost vertical, but not straight like this. So that's why we call this the sun fist. It looks like the Chinese character of the sun, right? So it's tilted where the bottom 3 knuckles is making contact. Traditionally, we call it yin because the inside of the arm is facing up. If we do a typical straight punch with the 2 knuckle, the outside of the arm is facing up. So this is yang punch. This is yin punch, okay? So, knuckles, 3 knuckles. But you're not really hitting with the 3 knuckles. You're hitting with the whole flat surface plus the 3 knuckles. Okay? So next, wrist. Now, this series is short, so I don't really see a need to go into the basic forms. Okay, you can go online to get those movements of the forms, okay? So in a lot of time in the form, you see this fist come out. Okay, do you guys see a problem with that? Well, if you look carefully, you see my wrists are bent. So imagine I'm punching somebody with a bent wrist. So that is incorrect. But yet a lot of people does it. Okay, this is wrong. So once you got your knuckle correct, make sure your fists align straight wrist. Okay, so the exercise we do, okay, just basically, okay, open up a little bit. Right. This is basically we sit in the high horse. This is called Yi Ji Kim Yuan Ma. Right? My toes, my knees, they're pigeon toes. They're gripping the ground, abducting in. This is for stability, right? But this is not a fighting stance, it is practice stance. So we call Yi Ji Kim Yuan Ma. Okay? So everyone can start with this. Okay? You just stand here. Now, the first exercise, okay? Focus on the knuckle and the wrist. So I want to make sure this, you see my wrist is flat, not this. That's bending your wrist. Incorrect. This is correct. So step one. Now two, you want to make sure the elbows are pointing down. Okay? So this is, knuckle is correct, wrist is straight, elbows down. Now you're in a position to fire this punch. The shape of this punch is a triangle, and triangle in nature is one of the strongest shape, okay? So if Sifu Vincent can come in here and let me explain, okay? So go ahead, show me the, right, okay? Now, let's come on this side here, okay? Now, if his elbow's out, he's going to have a kind of harder time to support me. He's going to have to use his arm, his shoulders. It does not transfer the power impact to the rest of his body. Now, if he correct that, okay, having a square shoulder, having the elbow down, and having his center, a fist on the center, what he basically created is a triangle. Now, with the elbow inside his shoulder, hand on center, when I press, it just goes straight to his foot, to his feet. Okay, so this is structure. So this is a very strong structure versus this, it's a weaker structure unless you're doing a hook. So for straight punch, your elbow fly out like a chicken wing, structurally is weak. Okay, so you want to make sure you have this elbow position here. All right. So now imagine I'm this close. Does he have time to bring his hand back and punch me? Of course, a lot of people does that. Okay, they want power. But remember, when Chun is about efficiency. Every time you go backwards, you lose time. Okay, so in a fight, it happens you're in a clinch or you're already in this close. If your hand's here, how can you still generate power? Well, that is because of the structure of the triangle. Okay, so the first exercise would be knuckle, wrist, elbow, punch. Knuckle, wrist straight, elbow down. You notice my elbow is inside my shoulders. Punch. Okay? So let's do a couple sets. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now this is 基本动作, basic movements. Okay? This is not how we fight or how we use it. Right? Just make sure all the mechanics is correct. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? That gets you the right mechanics for the knuckles, the wrists, and the elbows. Okay? All right. So let's say in a confrontation, hey, you know what? I don't want any trouble. in a real fight, you don't want to tell people that you know how to defend yourself, or you don't want to give your technique away. You don't want to telegraph, right? You see, typically we like to put our hands in the center because in the fight, that's what we call high ground, the position of advantage. So if I go like this, that means I'm asking for a fight. But if I go like this, it's kind of like a universal way to say stop, calm down, or you don't want to do this. So basically, I'm already set up for this punch. But if his hand is down, for him to pick up his hand to punch me, he got all this motion. And for him to punch me, his body's going to move in. So basically, he's doing all the work for me to hit him. Right? Because the setup is here. As soon as he make a move, the punch is here. Okay? So this is kind of like a piston. Okay? The structure, later on, you can put some hip motion into it, not to mention the whole momentum. Right? So step one is knuckle, wrist, elbow, punch. Knuckle, wrist, elbow, punch. Okay, now step two, you're simply going to step forward, add the momentum. Okay? Again, okay, this is the arm mechanics. The body is squaring up. Okay, so later on we'll go back to why do we square up. Okay, so now as we're moving, I'm going to show you a very basic movements of footwork of Wing Chun. Okay, it's called box shape. All right, so as I step, I want to cover my center. So I do a circle step. Right? Now, if I don't do a circle step, I just go like this. And you know what? In the street, maybe I get kicked between my legs. Right? So I circle in and back to my shoulder width distance. Now, if you look at the shape, if I have 4 legs, this particular shape, right? 2 legs in the front, 2 legs in the back, it's a perfect square. So it's same width and same length as your shoulder, right? That's why we call it square. Now, the advantage of that is, okay, we quickly show you a structure test, okay? So if Sifu Vincent will come in, right? So let's look at a little bit lower. Now, he will come in with vertical punch where his foot are narrow, right? Which you see a lot, right? Their feet is very close together like this. Right? Go ahead. He will have front stability. But one finger, you can move him to the side. Okay? So if your feet are like this, you're on a tight rope. So there is a time and place we do this dealing with the chica or sticking legs. Okay? But as you're advancing or you move like this, today you deal with a lot of grapplers. This is kind of like a breakfast for them. They see a foot narrow like this, you probably won't be able to do anything that can stop them. Okay? So narrowness creates instability. Okay? And people will attack you from the side. Now, if you step obviously big Y like this, you lose the forward momentum. Okay? People can easily knock back as well. Okay? So that's why the balance is shoulder deep and shoulder wide. Okay? So if Mr. Vincent come here again. Okay, like a front stance again, but with what we call square step. Okay? All right. So his shoulder width, shoulder length. He has stability to the side. And he also has stability to the front. Okay? Again, if he narrow his foot, right, he loses stability to the side. If he's too wide, then people can challenge him in the front. Right? So when we start stepping, basically, that's what you do with the footwork. Okay? It's a half circle back to a square, and the weight is 50-50. Okay? 50-50. All right, good. So with that said, we add this, we call square footwork to our basic punch, okay? So sequence again, yi, r, step, sun, back. Other hand, yi, r, square step, punch. Okay, so this is obviously for beginners, we break it down. Now, if you want to do it in one motion, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay? In application, obviously, you're not going to do this and do this and do this. It's wherever your hand is, you set up the elbow in, straight wrist position. Okay? All right. So the next progression, what are you going to do with this hand? Okay, remember, 基本动作, okay, basic movement, you put your hand here to kind of focus on one thing at a time. But in a fight, you never do that. So, I see, sometimes you've been training this all your life, and then in the application, you put your hand back here, that's a big no-no. Okay, that's not applications, all right? So you're going to put up your guarding hand, so, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay? 1, 2, 3. So the guarding hand is right by the elbow. It acts as a guard. Okay? So this will be progression 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? All right. Movie time. Everyone loves that punch. So because the structure is strong, plus you are traveling a short distance, so this punch is powerful and also very fast. Okay? So that's the advantage. So you want to build the momentum. First punch, second punch, third punch. Typically, we throw 3 punches, 2 punches, 3 punches. In application, you're probably never going to have a chance to throw the same move more than 3 times. Okay? But this is very fast, right? Okay? This is great for long distance. Great for long distance. But remember, you're doing 1 punch at a time. I can't use this hand until this comes back. So you always got to go 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay? One thing at a time. What if you're slower? Okay, so when Chun, because it's closer range, we typically have a shorter distance advantage, so the punch can flow much quicker. So the time I can throw 3 or 4 punches, probably before people can finish their cross. Okay, so the third progression, you're going to add the triple punch. Wrist, elbow, 1, 2, 3. Right. Wrist, elbow with the guarding hand, step, yi, r, sun. Okay, so let's look at it from the side. Wrist, elbow, step, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now, if you look at the direction of the punch, is slightly going up. This punch primarily is what we call a technique we use for the upper gates. Face is good. Okay? Sometimes we use for the chest. Right? But you cannot really hit low because you're going to be making contact with wrong knuckles. Okay? So there's different punch for that. So this is mostly what we call an upper gate punch. Very effective for face type of punch. Okay? Wrist, elbow, step, 1, 2, 3. Okay. The last sequence for today, before I show you the application, is where you're going to basically fold the hand that you are punching. Okay, so like this. 1, 2, punch. You're going to fold it down, other hand comes out. Fold, other hand comes out. Okay. Straight punch. Punching hand, fold, punch, fold, punch. Right? So this will give you the sequence, okay? Sequence 1, just focus on knuckles, wrist, elbow, punch. Sequence 2, step. 3, with the guarding hand. 4, triple punch. And the last, you fold the hands. Punch, fold, fold, fold. Right? So this sequence gives you a shadow boxing way. That means you're hitting the air. Make sure your form is good to develop this basic vertical punch. Now to show you some applications, okay? Again, in a typical fight or sparring, you cannot square up. He hit me already with a jab, right? So typically, you have to wait until you're in the trapping range or even closer to use this technique, okay? So let's just say, for example, he punches me first. I put up a guard, okay? This is bridging. This is not part of today's lesson. But from here, once I bridge, I step over to the side to close the gap. Now, you see I'm squaring up to him, 9 gates, and facing his 3 gates, which is the side. This is the right position to throw a punch. In the movies, or a lot of time in training, you see people just kind of go like this. Everything is squared up, everything is centered. No, in application is to the side. And my energy is always going forward. It's like a grappler, okay? Why? Because he can quickly change the range and I get hit with the long punches, okay? So this is a very effective technique. It's strong, it's fast, but most mistakes are made when they throw this technique. Square up, right down the middle. But if Vincent come in with a straight, right? So no problem for me just hook him, right? So this punch is meant for him to go to my side. Now vertical punch, right? So that is the proper position of the vertical punch. But obviously you gotta create that position, right? So once you understand the mechanics, okay, typically we kind of hit the wall bag. You know, we have the wall bag hanging on the wall, or you can hit any type of mitt with the partners. Okay, so let's say Mr. Vincent will hold this. Okay, 2 ways to do this. One, I want to feel the impact. You can't hit the face, right? So you put the chest, the pad by the chest. Okay. So without me stepping, right, just watch the mechanics. Right? There is not much body motion, but the impact, the power is still there. Right? So because again, it's a triangle shape. This, right? This, right? Of course, this kind of takes you into the later introduction we'll call inch punch, right? Bruce Lee have 1 inch, 3 inch punches. This is where the mechanic starts. Okay? So typically, we do an exercise, you punch, but the follow-up to, you gotta be able to keep up with it. Because as soon as you lose that range, this technique is no longer effective, right? You gotta keep it inside the range. So the second way to hold the bag is high up for face targets, okay? So again, okay, so again, you can use those sequence again. Wrist, elbow, and step. Right. Or you can do 3 punches. Okay? So the idea is keep moving with the same momentum going forward. You don't want to just kind of stop. Okay? Obviously, right, if I was to use this, right, the momentum is always there until the position needs to be readjusted. Right? Forward momentum is very important. Okay? All right, very good. Now, some of the application of this punch, the elbow is down because give you a strong structure. Also, it's a cover. cover. I mean, you know, fighters, right? They know how to cover. They know how to cover, you know? So when Chun, we have that concept. We don't call it cover. We call occupying your gate. So occupy the space, okay? Now, if you watch, if Mr. Vincent is going to throw a jab, for me to go around this, I have to take a bigger angle, go outside. That takes more time, more movements, okay? And, you know, so that's, when Chun begin is when you do something with less time, less space, less energy to accomplish the same thing, okay? So let's say I'm just standing here. He throw a jab again, but you notice this time my elbows are down. What that allows me to do is parry his punch. If my elbow out, he's in already. My elbow's down, his punch is out. So, beginner's way to learn is like this. He punched me, I block, I punch. 2 motion against 1 motion. Obviously, that's not good effective applications. Doesn't work. But you do it because that's where you start as a baby step. Something better. He punched me, I block and punch same time. Well, improved, but still not good because he's using 1 hand and now I have to use 2 hands. Okay, so you're not getting your money worth. Better, he punched 1 technique versus 1 technique, but my technique parry his incoming attack. This allows me to quickly follow up. So this would be, we call Chun, Siu Kun. This is the intention of the vertical punch is to parry the incoming punch. So we have some exercise where he punches me, I can parry on the outside, the cross side, okay, left hand, follow up. Or I can parry on the parallel side, follow up. Okay, so those are more of applications. Okay, so again, give you another reason to understand why you have an elbow down position. Okay, so typically, in a fight, people have a little fall chicken wing like this. Okay, from there you can punch from the outside coming back in. That's what we have the young punch. But typically, you know, if I put my hand here, it doesn't make sense for me to put my hand. Start here and then come back out and punch you. If my hand's here, I do yin punch. If my hand's here, I do yang punch. Okay? So it's based on positions. All right? So this particular punch, I hope I show you the mechanics already. Okay? How do you train it in the air as well as hitting the target? And then some of the applications. Okay? But you do need to drill it and train it and then test it under combat, put on the gear and spar with it to get the distance and timing, okay? Again, it's a very fast and strong punch. It doesn't matter what system you learn, okay? This is the mechanics of a short, straight punch, okay? So any system has a straight punch, a jab, a cross, okay? But not too many fighters actually train short, straight punches. Once the distance is close, they start hooking. They start going around, okay? So we want to keep a short strike technique that is fast and effective, okay? When you move this fast, you cannot block it. You have to be out of the way, okay? So this is called Yat Ji Zong Cui, okay? It's called vertical punch. Now, the last sequence we did is punch, fold, fold, right? This is when you start out with a long shot and they intercepted and blocked it. You use that as a bridge for the follow-up, okay? Mechanically, okay? The thing is, when I turn sideways 3 gates, I gain distance. But remember, as you extend out, you lose the structure's power. Okay, so that's why for this type of technique, you have to use momentum. The velocity with the distance with the mass, right? But you know, in the close quarter fight, I don't have the distance, right? And I can't bring my hand back. So you have to kind of change the mechanics to what we call a type structure, right? So when I throw a technique, it's just in case if he intercepted and took my hand out, right? Okay, so of course I can go on to the next technique. But remember, in a long distance, he got time to react. And I have to go fast to travel to cover distance. So rather than throwing out a long shot, it works, right? I use this as a bridge. This punch, since he intercepted, because I'm throwing long, it's a trap, so I can fold and come in for my Jitotsu, okay? So this technique here, folding, is a way to bridge from long bridge, 3 gates, to 9 gates, okay? So look at it again. Right. So I punch, okay? Okay. Long, so I go straight like this. Throw that cross at me. Right. We both get hit, okay? So you want to understand the concept of Wing Chun, okay, is to give you understanding of superior precision. This is like a friendship, even position. So in a fight, you know what, hey, buddy, I don't want to fight you, but you know what, I already occupy the center. He's not going to punch me straight with my hands there, so he's going to come around me. So it's kind of like a setup, okay? Now, if my hands are out, hey, you know what, now he's not going to hook me now, he's going to punch straight. So then, it's also a setup. So later, you understand about the gates, inside, the outside, okay? So this is some of the characteristics of Wing Chun. Each series I will be introducing. Okay. So today the technique is Yat Ji Zhong Cui, the sun fist. Look like it's called vertical punch. Look like a sun. Okay. It's strong, fast, straight punch. Okay. A lot of people they just like the speed, right? They start doing this. I mean, look like they're drumming. Right. This has to be straight. Okay, not up and down. Okay, very simple technique, but any technique, 10,000 hours, and it becomes yours. Okay, in a fight, the subconscious, the body memory, the muscle memory comes out. Right, if you have to think about it, you're going to get beat up. Okay, with that said, the technique we cover is Yachi Zhong Cui. Mechanics. Make sure you know which knuckle you're hitting. Wrists are straight, elbows are down. Square up body, but when we use it, we are not squaring up to your opponents. Okay, I'm squaring up where the opponent is not squaring up. This is the Wing Chun applications. So, a very simple straight punch, one of the many techniques of Wing Chun. Just like any fighting system has to cover all ranges of technique. Wing Chun, we have long range, close range, and we have kicking, striking, takedown, submission. So in a future series, we're going to be covering some of those different techniques. Okay. Typically, when you start with a beginner's class, once you learn the sequence, the mechanics, then you start with what we call bridging. So he's working on his punching. Right. Right, go ahead. Right, make sure he's punching correct. Right, he's squaring up. But in application, right, he's really more like, I'm here and he's squaring up. That's what you want. Correct, okay? So for me, I would be doing more like slapping his hand. We call this pak sound. Where pak means to slap, okay? This takes us to the next series of bridging him. You can slap, you can bridge with the arm, you can bridge with one hand, two hand. Bridging is one of the well-known Southern Shaolin Kung Fu's famous for, right? Q. So this would kind of take us to next lessons. Hopefully you guys pick up some idea on what is Wing Chun. Right, let me give you one definition, then maybe we can cover some answering questions. Wing Chun is a concept-based system. We covered that. 2, it's all ranges. It's complete system. long weapon to short weapons to personal weapon to kick, strike, takedown, submission, chidas right now. Okay? And its primary concept focus on efficiency. That means accomplish something with less time, less space, less energy. You have made an improvement. So Wing Chun is not a style, but it's not a look. Because of the movie, right? Say, oh yeah, he's doing Wing Chun. You know, they're kind of going for the look, but they don't understand the mechanics. Okay? So anybody that study martial art, when your body become more efficient, you want to throw a straight punch that is short and fast, it will look like Wing Chun. So that's why don't go after the look. Understand the mechanics, then the concepts. Okay? So I think we have about 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes.
Thank you, Meng Shifu. We will be opening for the question. If anybody has question, you can type in the chat right now, or you can raise your hand and I can put you on the speaker. Okay. And I have a question for Meng Shifu. For like during the pandemic right now, so is your studio operate as normal, or do you offer any kind of like special program or online program other than this one?
Yes, actually, you know, the Chinese word for crisis is danger and opportunity. So for 3 months we closed, we actually really developed our online course. We've been running the Zoom classes for 3 months. In Ohio, we just opened back up. So we kept the Zoom online courses and develop a lot of online lessons. So now, in addition to our regular classes, so now the students are doing both.
Okay. And so if people are interested, that they can contact you, and even if they are not in Ohio, they can enroll in your program.
Yes, actually, I don't know if Vincent can bring the board. Yeah. It's very easy to remember. It's Wushu-Kungfu online. If you want some online introduction to Wing Chun from beginners to advanced, where you can just type in Wushu-Kungfu online. Okay? So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and to everybody who's watching, thank you for participating. Meng Shifu will still be teaching on our next session and continue into the summer of July and probably August. So our next section will be on June 27th. If you would like to continue watching the series, Meng Shifu will still be teaching, and we will have our schedule post online at the USAWKF website and also announced at the Facebook. Okay, so we have a question.
Okay, good. The question is, we did the vertical punch. One of your opponents much taller, right? Okay, so remember, when you are hitting, okay, if they're taller, obviously you got to hit higher, right? Okay, so, but remember, if they are attacking you, they have to come into your height. So that means this gate theory, or you have the understanding about your concept of your space, right? If you block way above your head, that's kind of your hand already went above your head. So they will come into your head space. So basically your hands are still at the head level. So same thing, but punching wise, you can adjust because you are going into their space. So if they're tall, you need to punch higher. Now remember, okay, if you travel longer distance, punching further away, that means it takes more time. That means you gotta have better speed. So when Chun have a saying, straight line, and also the shortest distance, okay? So straight line, shortest distance is what guides our techniques.